As an example, Selma, North Carolina, the town used an innovative property tax incentive tool that they developed to focus redevelopment so that they could get companies to build in a particular part of the town that was just run down. This is not unusual. Now, we know we have RDA monies here, and I would hope that more businesses would take advantage of that. Okay. The sixth item is effective communities identify and they measure and they celebrate short-term successes to sustain and support for the long-term community economic development. And you notice I say long-term. I would like to be able to look at something that came into Mesquite or a company 20 years from now and have grandchildren and say, you know what, that's the greatest thing, Granddad, that ever came to Mesquite. Instead of thinking about, let's grab whatever we can grab just to fill a spot. Okay. The future is important. Okay. And small towns profiled here, all through this study, there were 45 of them, by the way, they tend to communicate and celebrate success. Another simple concept that's related in making a case for community economic development. One little town that I read about spent all kinds of time publishing newsletters, writing articles for the local newspaper about the success of businesses. And today I picked up the Moapa Progress, and on the front page, and if you're familiar with it, it comes out every Wednesday, there's a big article, should have been some other type of a headline, just featuring a new restaurant that is opening up in Moapa, or has just opened up. Front page news. And I like to see that in Mesquite. We talked about, I drive by a particular little business that opened up here about 3 months ago. I've asked numerous people, have you been to that business? And they look at me with a huge question of, what are you talking about? Yet I drive by this restaurant every single day. Okay. Do I see a lot of cars there? No. But if that was on the front page of our paper, so-and-so opens up in Mesquite. That's not an advertisement per se, but it's an announcement of success in Mesquite.
I'll sign you up as a reporter.
I have enough to do. Okay. And lastly, viable community economic development. You notice I tie the two together because community development is economic development. It involves the use of a comprehensive package of strategies and tools, again, rather than a piecemeal approach. Okay. We need to do this. Right now, I've been working with the city, and the city is working with MRBI, and we're looking at business incentives. So when a company calls Mesquite, we can tell them straight out, yes, we can do this for you, and we can do this for you, and we can do this for you. I know a lot of people say, oh, business incentives, you're just giving away the farm. It's not true. If it's done right and it's structured correctly, you're not giving away anything. You're gaining something. And there are many strategies used so that we come out on the top end, not on the back end, because we gave away something and nothing materialized. And I don't believe in that whatsoever. Following all of that, I said, okay, let's dig a little deeper into small town America. And I found something out of a publication called Small Biz Survival. And what happened, and this is in Webster City, Iowa. I've been through Webster City, Iowa. It is the typical mid-America downtown. All the old buildings are all lined up right next to one another. The parking is at an angle to the store. There are no parking meters, and by the way, that virtually killed my hometown when they put parking meters in the downtown. That was the death knell for business, because everybody then said, you know what, we'll build out in the suburbs and open up with big parking lots and no fees. Fortunately, Mesquite doesn't have that problem. Well, this particular lady decided she would hold a tour of empty buildings. Okay. She started gathering intelligence about what buildings were there available in the town. And we're talking about anything from big buildings to little storefronts that are sitting vacant. She contacted the business owners. She arranged to have a construction professional come with her and the city manager and walk through these buildings. She worked with the local realtors, as a point people on the tour, and they would field the questions about, could this be a good fit for my store, my business, the cost, the square footage, an analysis of the building itself. And she then asked what she calls the chamber champions in this town, which are the Chamber of Commerce volunteers, to attend and share more of the community history and the background about the businesses and what was there in the past and so forth. And she got the city, the county, and the chamber all on board, and believe it or not, a number of these businesses right afterwards were occupied. A lot of people don't know what's available. Okay. Now, what businesses would work in a small town? This is where I went back to retail leakage or gap analysis. Now, Mesquite's done one of these, but it's been a number of years, I understand, since it's been done. And if you understand the concept, you want to know what local people are spending in particular categories versus how much is spent elsewhere. Now, we know with the advent of the internet, a lot of people just go online and want to buy something, and it's oftentimes very practical. If you want to know more about gap analysis, take a look at Spruce Grove, Alberta, Canada. One of the finest studies I've seen in that area. And also the Oklahoma Cooperative Extension Service, which does a lot of that. So, reading through that, I said, you know what? We've got a lot of small storefronts that have been sitting empty virtually since I've lived here. That's 10 years now. And we've got another one that just popped open, which I'm quite concerned about, and that's where the Boulevard Furniture was before, because it's pretty good sized. What are we going to do with a business empty like this? So I delved in a little deeper about small business, and I thought about something we had done back in my hometown when I was still living there, and that's dividing up that store or that business. We have a lot of entrepreneurs in Mesquite, believe me or not. People would love to open up a small business, but they don't need 1,000 square feet, or they don't need a particular size. So the idea that they did in some of these towns is to divide it all up in sections. They'd have the windows used to advertise the individual businesses inside. They even went so far as to knowing that they couldn't have people running all over the place buying things and then not knowing where to pay, one central cash register to receive the monies from this. Another idea they talked about is pop-ups. We have these little things going on in town here, setting up kiosks to get a start, to see if you've got an idea that just might work. And I think we've got a lot of them in Mesquite. And this was done, again, in another town I read about, and they were worried because Walmart came. And this was a town in Washington, Iowa. And if you know anything about Walmarts and real small communities, they tend to wipe out the rest of the community's businesses because you just can't financially compete. But they found out, people would go through there that were doing this idea, hey, Walmart doesn't sell this or they don't sell that, why don't we try it? And amazingly, it works. So that's basically what I have to say today about economic and community development. The main thing I think is that we all need to get on the same page. We need a vision for Mesquite. What do we want this place to be 20 years from now? Not this year or next year, but 20 years from now. And I think we need to get some community committees together and start gathering all the ideas we can. It's amazing when you throw them in the hopper what you come out with. Thank you.